I'm Captain Logan.
And I'm Dan.
And it's time once again
to recommend things.
Dan, what do you recommend today?
Today I'm going to recommend something different. It's not a toy. I'm going to recommend a video game this time. This is Darksiders 2 Deathinitive Edition. I have it for Xbox One. It's also on PlayStation 4. This is an up-res port of Darksiders 2. One of those like remastered editions they've been doing of last-gen games. Which I appreciate because like a lot of these games I didn't get to, and playing a prettier version of them with all the DLC packaging is always cool buy. And this was like $30, so it's really good deal.
Oh wow, yeah.
I like the Darksiders games a lot because they are very derivative games in the best way possible. They're not original at all, and they don't claim to be. They rip off a lot of things. This one specifically is structured like an action-adventure puzzle game like The Legend of Zelda. Like, it has dungeons and things like that, so it's right up my alley, because Zelda's my favorite gaming IP. And I love games that are like that. And Darksiders just blatantly and unabashedly rips kind of that structure of the game off, and it's really fun. Like, even the way the horse works in the game is completely and utterly like the way the horses work in Zelda. They work in a very specific way, so, they're just blatantly ripping it off. The combat is straight-up God of War combat. It's exactly the same thing. There's Prince of Persia-esque platforming, like running along walls and jumping around on like pegs on walls and things like that. It blatantly rips that off. And then it has the loot system from the Diablo games, which is fun too. You get like different pieces of armor and gold, and you can buy items and things. And then the coolest thing about it, I think, is that it looks like a 90s Image comic book, because the art direction, I think the guy directed the entire game in general. It's directed by Joe Madureira. He was an artist that left Marvel to go work at Image in the 90s. And he started a video game company, and the first games they made were the Darksiders games. And this series is all about an edgier version of Christian mythology, so it's very reminiscent of Spawn. Everyone's got the big, exaggerated proportions. Like
I'll have to play that. Is that the same studio that makes the Darkness games?
I'm not sure. I don't think so.
Okay.
This was a brand new studio that was formed just to make the Darksiders games. So I don't know if any.
But I thought they made Darksiders before they made those, but maybe I'm wrong.
The Darkness, I think, was made by the people who now are at Machine Games, and they made the newest Wolfenstein game.
Oh, okay. Cool.
But yeah,
I was just curious because obviously that is straight up an Image comic,
Right, exactly. So the cool thing about this is they were supposed to make 4 games, and the games are about the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. The first one you play as war, and this one you play as death. Like in a 90s Image comic book, the story is almost completely nonsensical and doesn't make any sense. So that's the worst thing about the game. But the gameplay is really good. All of the mechanics that they steal from or are reverential to. It's not like ripping off in a malicious way. It's very reverential to all the things that it borrows from, and I like that a lot about it. It's a very challenging game. The puzzles get really complicated by the end with all the tools you find, like it does in Zelda. You have to use all of them in tandem to solve really complicated puzzles by the end. The combat's really challenging. It's not a game that holds your hand at all. So if you like challenging puzzle games with that sort of aesthetic, it's a really interesting combination, and I think it does all of those things reasonably well. And it's not like a perfect 9.0 or like 10.0 on the review scale game. I give it like an 8.5. But I think it's worth your time. For $30, it's a really good deal. The DLC that comes with it gives you 2 extra dungeons to go through, so it's pretty cool stuff. There's a lot of side quests to do. Like I said, if you go into this expecting something like you're going to understand the story at all, like I didn't even finish the first Darksiders because I rented it, and the story heavily ties into the story from the first game, but the story from the first game doesn't make any sense either, so it's kind of compounding. But if you can just roll it and enjoy the gameplay, I think you'll really enjoy it. This is a port. It came out in October of last year, so I think it got kind of overlooked, partly because THQ, the company that originally published the game, went under. They no longer exist. And the IP was bought by Nordic Games, and the people that made the game formed a new studio. It's kind of up in the air as to whether or not we're going to get another one. They're thinking about maybe either going ahead with a third one or repackaging and texturing, redoing the graphics on the first game, depending on how well this sells. So if this sounds like a game that appeals to you, I implore you to buy it because it's incumbent on whether or not we'll get more of them. So
I'm sorry,
I'd recommend this game quite a bit. It's really fun.
Did you say that's also on PS4? Yes,
it's on Xbox One, PS4. I think it's on PC as well.
That's awesome. Yeah, when I used to work at a video game store, people tried to get me to play the first Darksiders a lot, and that's what I always heard about it. Was that like it's really derivative, but it's fun. Like that's like the main review you always heard of that. Is like you've played this game before. If you've played any of these other 4 games, is there anything in it that's Castlevania-esque?
I'm not too familiar with the Castlevania games, so I couldn't tell you.
Because I thought you were going to say that. I was surprised when you didn't.
Yeah, it's got kind of like a spooky, atmospheric kind of thing about it. So, I mean, I know that from the Castlevania games, but it's not... Castlevania, from what I've heard, is similar to Metroid, where it's one like big map and you have to explore it and go back to other places and unlock things with tools. It's not like that. It's a more linear dungeon progression, like the more recent 3D Zelda games. Mm-hmm. So I wouldn't compare it necessarily to what I've heard about Castlevania, but if you played it, you might notice things that I wouldn't necessarily.
Well, not that I'm a big Castlevania guy either. I was just curious.
Right, yeah. But I've literally played none of them, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah. I have literally played a little bit and then watched other people play them. That's what I have literally done. Well, anyway, that sounds great. Thanks for recommending that.
Yeah, no problem. I hope you get it and enjoy it. It's really fun.
Now for something completely different. Dan, today I'm going to, somewhat not surprisingly, I'm sure, recommend the ukulele. That's what I'm recommending today. Yeah, the ukulele. We bought this for my son for Christmas, and I have played it more than he has. Because I've been learning how to play the ukulele, and he's been learning too, and he's been playing as well. And Jason has started writing songs, and nice. His songs are hilarious. And maybe we'll play one for you at some point. They're probably as nonsensical as Darksiders, but they're really funny. And he just wrote a parody of Eye of the Tiger.
Oh, that's awesome!
Which was really funny.
What is the parody about? Is it based on anything? Like, is it a Power Rangers parody of Eye of the Tiger?
No, it's called Bin or the Trash Can, and it's about, according to Jason, yucky food.
Oh.
So yeah, that's what he wrote.
Well, if you have yucky food, I guess it's good to have 2 choices that are exactly the same thing as to where to put it, right?
I immediately wondered if it would have like an environmental message where it was like, recycling things versus putting them in the trash. Yeah, it wasn't that at all, and has references to Sonic the Hedgehog somehow. So I have no idea. But anyway, so we've been playing this, and I'm recommending the ukulele as a really good starting instrument if you've never played an instrument, and if you are like me, interested in getting into songwriting, and especially if you want to write like filk and like like geeky inspired songs, because a lot of filkers use the ukulele. It's a really easy pick up and learn how to play kind of instrument. And when I say pick up and learn how to play, I mean like I had always heard that, and always, like, because when I was a kid I tried to learn the piano and I couldn't really get into that, and a few years back I tried to learn the guitar and I just didn't have time and I didn't really get. So I figured like it would take me several weeks to really get very proficient with chords, and I wrote 3 songs, 2 of them I've already put on the channel, the night I learned some chords. Like it was that easy. I had like probably 12 chords down that in the first couple days that I was learning it, because they're just very simple to learn. And if you have any musical inclination at all, it's a really intuitive instrument. It's really easy to just write melodies around chords, and I haven't really learned yet how to finger like just single string progressions and create melodies just with the strings, but it's really easy to write songs just around chords, and then maybe eventually when you get better at it, because I'm not going to pretend like I'm good at this at all, but I'm good enough, or at least I know enough chords that I can write melodies around it. And I've been I was in music for a long time, in choirs, and I was in a vocal jazz ensemble in college, and I've done a lot of vocal stuff, and so like I'm musically inclined enough by rote and by I think I've got a good ear for stuff that it's really easy for me to write melodies and come up with different things so it doesn't all sound the same, but I just never played anything. And so finally I have more of a reason to actually try to write music, so I will probably try to get good at the guitar guitar at some point. But right now, I'm just fiddling around with the ukulele, and that's kind of fun.
Oh, yeah, exactly. And I would imagine the transition from ukulele to guitar, once you get proficient at that, wouldn't be all that difficult. I mean...
Yeah, and I've been told that I will probably play that much better because I have played a string instrument at all before that. Obviously, the chords don't all translate exactly the same.
Yeah, exactly. There's only 4 strings on that. The neck is much shorter on a ukulele.
But contrary to popular belief, because I know some people don't realize this, you can play every chord on a ukulele, even though it's only 4 strings. Some of them are nightmarish to figure out where to put your fingers. Some of them are ridiculous. Like I don't know if you can see this, Dan, but like this is a B flat.
Oh God!
And this is not anything like the craziest thing, but like what's difficult about it is obviously when you play an instrument like this, you want to use the tips of your fingers so that you're not accidentally playing multiple strings, and chords like that make it very difficult to play without playing strings that you're not wanting to play. That becomes really difficult. But really, to write rock songs, you really only need to know 3 or 4 chords. Like C's are useful, G's are very useful. F's are very useful.
Do you know D too?
Yeah, I know D. There's D.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. So,
You could do the AC/DC method and play like 3 different chords in all your songs.
Yeah, exactly. Sure. But
not that I don't like AC/DC. I like a lot of their music. I just think it's funny that they play like the same 3 chords over and over again.
But it's nice to have really popular bands where amateurs can come in and play their music, because then they have more of a reason to learn. They're like, because if every really popular band, every song has like 12 chords, it's gonna totally turn you off, because it's no fun. And this is a thing that I've started realizing about why I never really picked up an instrument. It's no fun to not be able to play right away.
Yeah, exactly. I took guitar classes in high school, and I'm just kind of... Maybe it's because I didn't play for long enough. That could totally be it. But it just didn't really click with me. I learned how to play some AC/DC songs. I learned how to play like Brown Eyed Girl by Van Morrison, like some pretty basic stuff. But my favorite guitar player is Jimi Hendrix, and I want to play that stuff, and that's the most complicated crap in the world.
Yeah, so that's really hard. But you want to be able to start from somewhere, and it's just you feel like you're accomplishing more and like you're progressing if you can, on the first couple days, play more than just scales and play. You know what I mean? Because it's sort of like math, where you want it to feel like you can use it.
Right.
And I think a lot of the time when you're learning an instrument, it's taught, in my opinion, kind of the wrong way, where maybe it's the most efficient way to learn, but it's not like math in the sense that math doesn't have to be about having fun. Music ought to be. So like when you're however you think about education, some people of course think no, if you make it fun then people will learn math. But the thing with music is if you're learning all this stuff that feels really abstract and you don't know why you're learning it, it's really difficult to keep it in your head and even remember it, I think.
Yeah, because instinctually you don't keep knowledge in your head that you're not going to use if it's not applicable to anything you can do in your life.
Well, and you just get frustrated because you have a purpose and you don't feel like what you're doing is being applied at all to that purpose. So I learned to play a few chords on the ukulele because I wanted to write some silly songs. I've always wanted to do that, and I never got a chance. I never had a chance. So anyway, I'm recommending the ukulele for that reason, because it's very easy to pick up and play. Secondly, because it's very easy to write music with, and obviously stuff that would translate to anything else. Now again, when you're playing with an instrument that sounds a certain way, you find yourself, or at least I find myself, intuitively writing more of the kinds of stuff that you would write for ukulele than for another instrument. So if I was playing with a guitar, I probably wouldn't be writing stuff that sounds so much like folk or hula numbers. But I mean, on the guitar, you're going to write some maybe some folk type stuff too, depending on what your sensibilities are. And
the thing that made me laugh is just thinking about hula numbers on a guitar.
Hula numbers, yeah, exactly. I mean, like even like some slightly reggae stuff. I could see you writing on the ukulele. But anyway, so that's those 2 reasons. And thirdly, it's cheap. The ukulele is like $35-$40.
Yeah.
They're just really cheap, and we bought ours. See, it's so funny. I have to be careful around Jason because this was technically one of his Santa Claus presents, and every time I've mentioned around him on accident that we bought it, he keeps correcting me and saying, "No, Santa Claus brought me that," and it's hilarious. But anyway, so
he's committed to keeping the story alive.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Well, and then like I've had to be really, because I keep forgetting what was in his stocking and what was in other things. He's like, "No, Dad, Santa Claus brought me that." And then I keep backtracking and going, yeah, I wrote him a letter and told him to get you that. But anyway,
you were the middleman.
Yeah, exactly. I was the well. Jason, I just know you better than Santa Claus does. He might see you when you're sleeping, but I watch you far more often while you're awake.
That's true. Yeah.
Anyway, so one of the things I wanted to mention about this too, real quick, is that I bought this at Guitar Center, and they have like with anything a warranty, and I didn't realize that musical instruments ever had this, but they've got a 2-year warranty you can get. And again, I haven't told Jason about this because Santa Claus brought it. A 2-year warranty that I don't remember how much it was, $8, $9, $10. That will replace it no matter what happens to it, even if you do something to it. Which I think is really nice because you don't have that with a lot of like electronics and stuff. And the guy at the counter was like, yeah. So if your kid decided that he was going to be like a rock star and go to town on it, like then you could replace it. And I thought that was cool.
I wonder if that happens often with ukuleles.
I want someone to make a video, and I want to watch that because that sounds hilarious. Dan, I've written a song just for this recommend.
Oh, yes, let's hear it.
I've written you a song, Dan. Are you ready to hear this song?
Swoon me.
This is easily the dumbest thing I've written. And here it is. Here we go. All right, you ready, Dan?
Yes.
We recommend this song. We recommend this song. It's not very long. I heard this song and I thought it was good. I thought I'd play it the best I could. Dan agrees that it's pretty great. We wouldn't recommend something we hate. We recommend this song. We recommend this song. How could we be wrong? It's in the lyrics, so you know it's true. The song recommends itself to you. Why would we ever lie? Cross our hearts and hope to die. We recommend this song. We recommend this song. It's at least better than Spawn. We recommend this song. Yeah.
It's weird that this week on both of our recommended items, Spawn came up.
Yeah, well, it's not weird when I'm making fun of things in a song. And I'm...
Yeah, but for both of our items, like, I have never read a Spawn comic book ever, and it came up in mine, somehow.
You've never read a Spawn comic, and your name is in the co-credits, is first in the co-credits for creating Spawn here.
It's true.
Everybody, thanks as always for watching us recommend things. These are the things we recommend, plus the song. And we will recommend something for you once again next week. I'm Captain Logan.
And I'm Dan.
Thanks for watching.